It's time once again to welcome in Halloween and all of its horrors and delights. For the rest of this month, we'll be doing another Werewolf-athon with the Ginger Snaps movies. Now this was another recommended series of films from another friend of mine who thought they'd be good to cover, especially since they appeared to be not as well known as some other films. Of course, it's always fun to see films I've never known about before, and these three are particularly interesting. The first film, written by Karen Walton and directed by John Fawcett, co-creator and director of Orphan Black, with Motion International being the main distributor for Canada, and while originally Trimark was going to be its American distributor, that fell through and it went to Lionsgate instead, and have been since. Of course, the later films wouldn't have John as the director, though Steve Holman would remain producer of the films all throughout its lifetime. Of course, with the film we're starting with today, despite production issues with funding and a few delays, as well as a certain controversy I'll be sure to bring up later, this is meant to be a reinterpreting of the horror genre due to some of the films having poor storytelling, weak characters, and women being treated in a negative way. Obviously, since I'm not a horror buff like other more well-known reviewers, I wouldn't know how much of that is true. But either way, I so much want to see what makes this the kind of successful cult film series that it is. So break out the Ginger Snaps, because this is Ginger Snaps! The film immediately opens in Bayley Downs. No pre-credits or anything just yet, we're getting right to the point. In this town, all homes must look identical to each other in some way, and you must have a dog. I say this because apparently someone, or something, has been killing all the dogs. We then get introduced to our main characters, Bridget, played by Emily Perkins, and her sister, Ginger, played by Catherine Isabel. Apparently, these two are either suicidal, and or just like to make their deaths seem cool, having made a death pact as children. Well, at least it gets me interested to know why they want to die, but so far the only thing they do is take photos of each other dying in different ways. And of course, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a space on the internet that takes this kind of stuff. After all, there's something out there for everyone. Just don't go looking for it. You know, some of these photos I could see happening, but death by garage door? Granted, it'd be rare, but would you really want to die like that? It's really haunting what these girls are doing, yet it is real what sort of lengths people will go when pushed to this point. Even the teacher is disgusted by this project they did.
Well, that was completely, disturbing, wasn't it? You know, the Fitzgerald sisters clearly worked very... God. I mean, I am completely sickened. Right? Sickened by that. Wasn't I? Look, see me in the guidance office.
Can't really say much on that since I'm not sure what the actual assignment was about. Otherwise, they just presented the different ways people can die for whatever mental reason. Well, at any rate, it doesn't seem like anyone else notices the two's behavior, as all this kid wants to do is bang. We also see the kind of school environment they live in, as all they do is shame this one student named Trina for things popular students tend to get away with. Though maybe it would have helped them a bit if they didn't stand 2 feet away from her. Then maybe this wouldn't happen.
Beast of Bayley Downs strikes again.
That's 4 dogs this week.
Whoa, bonus. I guess you're DOA on a dog, huh, Fitzface?
Wait, what the hell was a dead dog doing out in the middle of a schoolyard? Just what kind of school is this? Them sneaking smokes is one thing that can probably be unnoticed. But a decaying corpse in the middle of the day? No way would that fly! You'd have to get that removed because it's a health violation. Of course, it doesn't help them either that they filmed this during the Columbine High School massacre and the W.R. Myers High School shooting. In both cases, stuff happened due to bullying, and if anything, this movie is setting up a case where a mix between bad school practices and terrible students will cause students to get revenge in a horrific way. Hence the controversy, since the movie is taking advantage of such horror. Though in this case, it's through a supernatural creature known as a werewolf. Oh, there's the janitor. Couldn't be bothered to remove the corpse, but he at least helps Bridget clean her face. God damn it. Rotting corpses in the field and an obvious drug dealer on school grounds? This school really is the worst. Jason decides to make his move on Ginger, setting up for a later plot point. Oh, and they do have parents, and they don't seem to notice their daughter's suicidal behavior either, though they do bring up puberty.
Does it hurt down by your tailbone or is it up higher? Is it tight throughout here? Maybe. Does it ache back here? Might. Oh my God. Do you think it's cramps?
Give it a rest for
2 seconds. Oh.
Pam, we're eating.
Henry, the girls are both 3 years late menstruating, okay? It's not normal. If it's finally happening.
It's not.
Honey, it's nothing to be scared of. It's the most normal thing in the world.
I have a feeling this is going to be tied to the overall theme of this movie. They go out to look for Trina's dog while finding another corpse of one to use to trick her into thinking that the beast that's been attacking these dogs killed hers. But it seems Ginger's going through that particular moment, which is then followed by her getting attacked by the monster. Why am I suddenly getting an American Werewolf in London flashbacks? The editing makes it so we can't see the full costume. I suppose that works, since it makes it harder for me to tell if it looks like the werewolf from London design. Guess how they get out of this though. Yep, they get saved by Sam the drug dealer. And yes, he was smoking a joint, it seems. The girls get back home, and for some reason, neither parent are around to hear the screams. Not like it matters. When Bridget tends to Ginger's wounds, they notice it's already healing. Bridget wants to take her to the hospital, but Ginger insists she's fine now. They seem to have gotten a photo of the creature, and yep, it's real. They eventually decide to get tampons when they run into Jason again, who entices Ginger to smoke some weed with them. Bridget, in the meantime, goes to Sam to see what he might have seen that night.
I was just wondering what you hit.
Well, officer, looked like a lycanthrope to me, sir.
I know what a lycanthrope is.
Well, at least it sounds like people know what a werewolf is, so that will at least make acceptance seem easier. Otherwise, the violent outbursts are getting worse, and she's even growing hair on her wounds.
This isn't...
What?
No, wait, like... No.
What?
Bitten on a full moon. Now you're hairy.
Well, thank you for taking my total fucking nightmare so seriously. Oh, shit. What if I'm dying or something?
We gotta see the nurse.
And they do just that.
It's a period.
But, really, it was like...
Geyser.
Everyone seems to panic their first time. Now, neither of you have had a period before, and you're how old?
I'm almost 16. She just turned 15. She skipped a grade.
A thick, syrupy, voluminous discharge is not uncommon.
Okay, and what do you make of the hair growth going on? Is that normal?
Comes with the territory. You'll have to protect against both pregnancy and STDs now. Play safe.
Well, you're helpful. Mother finds out about the developments, which gets Ginger upset even more, and have the two fighting. Bridget is still in belief that her sister might be a werewolf now, and it's now corresponding to her period. Well, the following day, it looks like things are okay now, as she might have dyed her hair bangs, and suddenly she's like the cool girl, and she's making out with Jason. Yep, it's definitely her wolf hormones. Things get hairy when Bridget notices her sister's growing a flesh tail. Like, ew, that's nasty. She goes to Sam again, and now they agree on the werewolf idea.
Well, let's not panic here. I mean, for one, that thing on the road, my van did a pretty good job on it, without the benefit of silver bullets, so let's just forget the Hollywood rules.
Finally, people acknowledging movies as their learning source for werewolves. See, it's not hard. If you live in a realistic setting, it's okay to source movies. She gets a silver navel ring saying it might cure her, though for some reason she has to act like she has the problem and not her sister. But too little too late. Ginger's gone to bang Jason.
Who's the guy here? Huh? Who's the fucking guy here?
Don't we need protection here? Stop it! Wait a second.
You're fucking hilarious, cave boy.
Man, they really stepped up the kind of sex one can have by a werewolf. The aftermath is even scarier.
Oh my god. You killed Norman.
He barked and he kept fucking barking.
So the reason these dogs have been getting killed was just because they were annoying? Well, that's a lame excuse to kill off dogs. Also, given the way she describes it, it seems Jason survived and just succeeded in getting laid. No, really. Because in a later scene, he just brushes it off as just, I had the best sex ever! But at least she believes the werewolf theory, so she gets that ring piercing. Home style.
Shit, it's stuck. Hold still. Fuck, hurry up! Sorry.
Now as for the flesh tail, they just tape it to her leg and hopefully no one will notice. The tension continues to escalate as Ginger finds out that Bridget told someone about her problem, making her angrier, but not as much as when Trina knocks her sister down.
Oh yeah.
Knock it off!
You started it.
Oh, I wanted her to turn in mid-fight.
This school has a zero tolerance for violence policy. I mean, a temper like that is inexcusable, barring substantial extenuating circumstances.
Yet they let drug dealers on school grounds leave corpses out in the field in broad daylight and do no enforcing on student bullying. I'm surprised they even have a standard. Jason finds out he's been infected, though I can't help but find this bit funny. At this point, I'm starting to think this is a counterpoint to unprotected sex, because if you don't do it the right way, you might become a werewolf. Sam decides they should use monkshood to counter this problem, but the problem is they only grow in spring, though Ginger thinks he's just going to screw her sister anyway and leaves. And hello, Sideclaw. Now that's a good effect. And seeing that this isn't a major production movie, that makes it even more impressive. Oh, and now Trina lost her dog and thinks Ginger did it. Her reasons?
He doesn't like you.
He's a cherry hound. He's into virgins. Trina, you're bleeding. Go home.
If you are so fucking smart, you won't give him the satisfaction. Somebody just once shouldn't give that fucker the satisfaction.
Trina, go now.
You are as big a cunt as your sister!
Can we please kill her now? She's really unlikable at this point.
Meat?
Well, snap. I figured she would die, but not like this. Ginger, what the hell?
He's wrong, moron. You can't fake fix this!
You don't know that. Just give me a chance.
Oh, God, that's disgusting, you fucking gross fucking... Back! Don't touch me, you freaks! You're both just totally fucked!
Trina, we were just...
Well, great. They have a corpse and the parents are home. How are they going to cover this up?
Girls, I told you no more deaths in the house.
So they do know what the girls do a lot. Well, never mind. That changes everything. Oh, and they hid the body in the freezer. Good thing they have one of those horizontal ones, or else they would never get away with freezer corpse. Now to properly bury the body.
Oh, God.
Oh good, now they have extra props for future death photos. So guess this means you need to stay inside for now on? Nope, she's still defiant. Halloween comes and Trina is still marked as missing. It also took this long for Jason to start showing signs of turning. And for a moment, I thought he was going to rape Bridget. But no, he just wants to know how to fix this. Also, it took this long for the police to get involved in the disappearance case. And now Ginger is starting to lose her mind as she tries cutting her own tail off. Won't help, it'll just grow back. Don't you know werewolf logic? Tired of her sister hurting people, she decides to use the monk's hood her mother got from a craft store and test it. But first, she has to lock her up.
Dee, what the fuck are you doing? Hey! Dee, let me out!
I have to deal with the cure. This way you can't hurt yourself or anybody else.
Fuck you fucking sissy little girl! Ah, you're gonna rat me out?
Girl, you're a werewolf now. Just blow the door down with your super breath or something. After some advice from Sam on how to use it, and even makes the stuff usable, he of course reveals that he knew Ginger was the one turning this whole time. Bridget returns home only to find Ginger gone, and we see she's gone to school to flash some people and learn about this party. Bridget then finds Jason about to murder a child in a dog costume? Okay, do werewolves just hate dogs in general? I thought the annoying barks is what set them off, not just the absolute sight of them. She injects him with the stuff, and it immediately changes him back. Great, now we know it'll work. Too bad she used it all on him. Hopefully, at least, she's restrained herself from killing more. Nope. She killed the guidance counselor. This is the point where Ginger finally snaps, thus fulfilling the title of the movie.
You need to get this fixed.
Why? So I can go to jail for the rest of my life?
We wait till everyone leaves, and we clean this up somehow.
Has no one bothered coming in here since the death? Seriously, where are the other staff members? Only the janitor comes in after school is out, but this stuff happened during the middle of the day. There had to have been others coming in. No way would this have gone by unnoticed. Well, he's good as dead. Even if he's infected, he can die if you hit him just right.
You like it? It feels so good.
Bridget. It's like touching yourself. You know, every move. Right on the fucking dot. And after, see fucking fireworks. Supernovas.
This is like the opposite of An American Werewolf in London, where in that the main character feels remorse for what he's doing. Here, she's perfectly accepting of her newfound werewolf powers and will abuse it however she wants. All the while, though, this sequence just seems to describe the joys of sex and puberty, but with the analogy being you have a raging beast in you that just needs to come out. This performance is really good. You can actually feel the emotion seeping through your ears from the intensity of the moment. Mom finds the corpse, which means she gets involved in the final act of the movie. In fact, now that she knows they had a hand in killing Trina, what is Mother going to do?
It's one thing if you leave. It's
It's almost normal, but no one's gonna take you from me. First thing tomorrow, I'll let the house fill up with gas and I'll light a match.
What?
We'll start fresh, just as girls. It'll be fun.
What about Dad?
He'll just blame me. They all will.
Earlier you made yourself seem oblivious to everything they did, but the puberty stuff. Now you want to burn the evidence and kill the husband? Granted, he wasn't exactly Father of the Year material. He didn't do anything to make me hate him, especially not enough to see him dead. You, on the other hand, just popped this whole burn everything thing after your daughters did something bad. Also, I'm surprised this thing only has a half hour left. What could possibly happen that needs to take this long? Well, during all of this, Ginger makes it to the party to confront Sam and force him to make out with her. But he ain't having any of that.
Fuck! You bitch! You want me? You want me? Stop hurting everybody else and take me! Take me! I don't want you! I don't even know you!
So it looks like the only way to stop her is to let Bridget become a werewolf as well. She infects herself so that she can get Ginger to stop hurting Sam. As they leave the party, we see Mother for one last time as she tries to follow them. I mean it, she tries to follow them and we never see her again. What was the point of her again? Of course, it doesn't stop Sam from hitting Ginger with a shovel.
You both need help.
You fucking idiot! The cure works! I had to use it on somebody else, but there's more at the house. This is the only way I can get her to come back with me.
Oh, shit. What? How was I supposed to know that?
Now, to be fair, I don't think there was any way to tell him this while her sister was still in crazy mode. Besides, she probably would not want it anyway. So they take her in the van to get more of the stuff, but uh-oh, she's going full werewolf now. God, that looks creepy. She breaks out of the van once they get home, and now they need to get the monk's hood without getting killed. This is another suspenseful moment since you don't know when she'll strike, and things just keep coming down from the commotion being caused. After making another batch, Sam offers to inject Ginger, and the obvious happens. Well, he's dead. Mission failed. All hope lies with Bridget. Can she save her sister and herself? Well, maybe not, since she fails to get the needle after dropping it, as she hears Sam is still alive. Somehow. Even though Ginger had him a good while. But not for long. Bridget gets one last moment with him while proving that she won't turn like her sister before Ginger puts him down for good. This last act really starts to get exciting as Bridget does everything to survive, and in the end, what happens? Well, even with the needle, it probably won't matter since Ginger will never accept it. Death by knife it is then, and it ends on a bittersweet note. Two girls who promised to die together, only to be separated by unfortunate circumstances. Well, I can say the ending was more satisfying than An American Werewolf in London, because at least here they gave time to let it sink in that one of the main characters died without being abrupt. As for everything else, yeah, I can see why it's a cult hit. The characters have a strong foundation for developing them into what they are now, and can understand the circumstances without seeing them as too unlikable. Most of the time anyway. You actually give a damn for what happens and even relate to them. Then as far as the horror element goes, they definitely know how long to build up a moment before unleashing it in a satisfying manner, with effects that are surprisingly well done. This is just one of those movies that, as a standalone film, it shows the kind of potential the people behind it have in producing an effective horror movie with a good cast and story. And yet, despite how it ended, it somehow got a sequel and a prequel. Tune in next time for part 2, where we go over the second movie.
SpaceMonkeyMafiaStudios.com.
What is it?